They say you not there, we stand, if I there, we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget it. You from Lova Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sessi. I'm a bad way on your river, I walk on the fine way. Tabila, Kriwako, I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Play for me. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Play for me.
This place for me and you, Liberia. The only way we build Liberia is through a collective effort, understanding that Liberia has its single agenda, and that agenda must be upheld by all of us. All of us, I mean all Liberians coming together to build Liberia. Today is Friday, is the weekend's edition of the program Open Conversation. Open Conversation is a 2-hour political program that talks about the major happenings in the country, and we deeper into the issues. So today we're here again. The team is here. Washington and
TT Gibro.
Washington and TT are here today to conclude the week's edition program. So TT, what's up? How's the whole week?
Today's Friday. They say Fridays for everyone, so it's good. Yeah. I love Fridays because when it's on Friday, then at least you take a break. Mm-hmm. You just breathe for once. Yeah, so I love Friday.
Relief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to be here again this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Lots trending all over the place. Lots of things to talk about, and we will go straight into the issues now and talk about them because at 8:30 this evening we will play host to Mr. Henry Flomo. He is the communication director there at the National Elections Commission. Kennedy nomination closed today. Mm-hmm. He will be telling us exactly, what the process looks like and going forward, what do we expect from the National Elections Commission?
Exactly.
So, if you're a candidate, if you are a participant, that is, if you are a registered voter, then you have a say in or you need to know exactly what's going on with the National Elections Commission because they're the ones leading the process towards these elections come October 10th of this year. So that's what's in for you. Henry Flomo will be our guest at 8:30, but we will also go to the lines because this is trending. We will speak with Dr. Francis Kete, Liberia's chief medical officer, for like 2 minutes. We're hearing that the Emirates Hospital in Bapolu County, what's breaking today is that it officially opened. We'll talk to him at least for 2 minutes on the show. And then while we talk about, the trending issues, we'll also talk to the Minister of Internal Affairs. We're hearing that His Excellency is expected to receive a very big endorsement from the people of Grand Bassa County. When is that happening? We will talk about that. We know that, the CDC will on Monday, all members of the Coalition for Democratic Change mobilization is going on all over the place. The fever is all over, and His Excellency will be thanked by citizens on Monday. So that's what's trending. And let's talk about this one first. The government put up a release because we know that Spoon Communications network was shut down today. And there has been lots and lots of stories from concerned citizens. Some of them who don't know what the issue is, accusing the government of shutting down Spoon Communication Network. And so the government came out with a press release that says that, they have nothing to do with the closure of Spoon Network. It says, they clarify that it is not a party to the lawsuit brought against the management of Spoon Network, which resulted into the closure of Stanton's premises in Monrovia today. That's a big story because I think in that press release, the government went further to even caution the former vice president, who the release says wants to score political points. Yeah, and so he's talking about climbing down on free speech. And somebody says, a critic of the Unity Party says, you know what's going on? How can Joseph Yuma Boyka come and talk about somebody climbing down on free speech? We have Philip Brown still alive. He has a story of what the Unity Party did to him. We have Jala Grayfield still around. We have lots of media people who, were trampled upon as a result of the Unity Party's climb down on free speech. Star Radio, I was with Star Radio at the time, and so I remember that when Star Radio closed, the vice president then, who is the Senate bearer now of the Unity Party, was asked by Her Excellency, then the president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, to look into the matter. Asked me, where has that matter gone today? If he was concerned about free speech, Star Radio should have been opened, but it was just another rigmarole and another vla. And we never got back. Yeah, I love
Vlad. I don't get it. I don't get it with you.
You get it because you are Mr. Weezer, so you don't get it. Yeah, but that was another Vlad. It never opened, and that was something that really hurt a lot of us who were then just coming into the media and looking for somewhere to belong, and we were belonging to Star Radio because it was one of the radio stations that everybody listened to, and everybody thought, if you listen to Star Radio at the time, you got anything from Star Radio that was just ethical journalism they were practicing. But because the government wanted that station closed because they knew what was coming out of the station, they put it in the former vice president's hand to make sure that station, he does all of the the ins and out and make sure that the station was back on the air. That never happened till today, and everybody who was there found their way to another place to continue their job. So he's talking about climbing down on free speech. His government, his 12-year in power, doesn't have any resemblance of a government that did that. The government has come out to clearly say to the Liberian people that it is not a party, it's a citizen of the country. Wilmot Smith, who took Spoon Communications Network to the court. He felt aggrieved because he thought that his character was injured, and the law is the law. And so if the law takes its course, you cannot put it on the government, neither can you put it on this president who has a record when it comes to, allowing anybody to say whatever they want to say and whenever they want to say. That is why you will have a lawmaker like Yeke Koluba, who was standing in the middle of the street and openly, without even thinking that he has children who are going to watch him on social media or on television, just rain, insults on the first man in the country. And it's okay to do that because, he should be setting an example, but he would not do that. He goes that way. And it's okay to do that because the president will not, climb down on free speech.
And I think, Titi, to be honest, I think it was a good step. I think it was a great moment that the government took to come out with this press release. Because every action in this country, everything taken against people perceive to be anti-government, it has been politicized. So I think the government did just utmost best to come out and inform the Liberian people and inform its followers that what is currently happening to Spoon FM, we do not have any link with that. And I think it's right, like you rightly said, Titi, this government, in spite of its imperfection, in spite of every other thing, because it is not everyone who is certainly going to love almost everything about the government. Yes, and the government did not fall down from heaven, and came on the earth. We have people working in the government who have the same human-related attitude like we have. So it was good. It was a laudable thing that they came out with this press release. And more besides, Titi, have a flashback, take a record. this government has been able to afford, if you can't grade this government on anything else but the issue of press freedom. No, let's be honest. Let's be very, very honest.
The right to freedom of speech.
The right to
this
freedom of
government
speech
has always demonstrated
has
that.
been upheld, Titi. It has been upheld for time immemorial. People have used, vulgarities, right? People have used those profound languages. No, but listen, Titi, we're listening to, I think you.
My God. Okay.
People have used, those words that may not seem right in the ears of the younger generation that are growing up. The posture of people who are in position, the posture of people who are in leadership position in the country, they have categorized themselves in a way that in other countries probably these things will happen. People take to the radio and insult government officials. People take to the radio.
Even government officials, like the lawmaker, I always like to name and shame him.
Representative Koluba. Exactly.
That's what he does.
Yeah, on numerous of occasions, he always, get to the media, insult it. And these things will just, go. It won't happen in other, government. We saw these things here.
It never happened. It will never happen in a Joseph Walker Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government.
Exactly.
Because that's the just immediate past government, and the law is the law. So people have to be cognizant of the fact that if somebody is injured, they feel injured, their character is injured, they have the right to go to the law.
Exactly.
And the law is the law. The law takes its course. The judicial branch of government is totally different from the executive branch of government. So if something happens in one branch of the government, why do you blame it on the president? Why do you blame it on the entire government? It's only to score political points, as they really said.
So Raymond Smith felt insecure, and he felt that what has happened to him, character defamation, what has happened to him was caused by this institution, right? So he thought it wise, probably, with some legal counsel, that Spoon FM should be held liable for what happened to him. So who holds him for such a damage? You can't, because every one of us must be able to live under the law.
Okay.
Exactly.
There's no way you go up, you go down. Press freedom. The Weir-led administration record remain very enviable. The partners, including the outgoing U.S. ambassador, has talked about that. The international community has continued to laud the government, His Excellency the President, for his upliftment of press freedom. And so the thing that Spoon is doing, they should pay for their actions. Let them go to court and free themselves, and let them not waste our time.
I think 3 days ago or so, we were just right on this platform, and we had the discussion about the position of Liberia among the 10th most peaceful African countries in Africa. Amongst the 54 countries in Africa, Liberia became the 10th most peaceful. What do you think, has been able to place Liberia at that position among the rest of the African countries? It's because we, as a people and a government, has been able to demonstrate the tendency of free speech. Because when we have been, crumbling down on people, Liberia would not have been recognized by, that institution to be one of the African countries to have to be stable when it comes to peace. You understand? So
people cannot put a dent on the president's character. It's just bluff around here. Let Spoon Network go to court and clear their name, and let's just leave it at that. We have the Chief Medical Officer of Liberia, Dr. Francis Kete, on the line. Dr. Kete, good evening. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much, Titi, bro. How are you doing this morning? And good morning, good evening to all of the listeners.
Okay, we're doing good. There are reports that the Emirates Hospital in Bapolu County officially opened to the public today. How true is that?
Yes, indeed. Remember, on the 28th of December, the Foreign Minister of Emirates and His Excellency President George Manuel Weah officially accepted the gift from the Emirates, that is the Emirates Hospital here in Bapulu, which is a state-of-the-art hospital. And since then, preparation has been on the way, training the staff and learning some of the new equipment and new technology at the facility. And so yesterday, patients were transferred. We had the first delivery at the hospital. Tammy, that is a lady who got pregnant for the first time and had a girl child, which is a blessing indeed to have a female at the hospital, the first
child being born there,
to be delivered there, And today we invited the zoo, both the male and the female, the chief zoos, to come over, because one thing that we fail to realize in Liberia, in spite of what we do, Liberia has its own culture, and we always have to reverence the culture of the country, because if we do that, it comes with a lot of blessings. And so we invited them over, they came over and gave blessings. And so today we opened the main theater of the hospital. We have a main theater and a smaller theater. Both of them were used today to operate about 10 patients today.
You did 10 operations today at the Emirates Hospital?
Yes, indeed.
So it means you have, are they, what kind of operations? Really intense operations? Life-saving operations?
Yes, for two of them were life-saving. The other, basically, depends on what a person is going through. But most of the cases that we did today were hernia cases, both on adult and minors. And then the adults, both male and female. So, for example, there was a Nigerian, the last patient that was done, a Nigerian who has been having a problem for a very long time. And this issue, he said he has gone from facility to facility, and that issue was diagnosed here at Emory Hospital, where he had what we call undescended testicles. So one of his testes did not come down. It didn't come to where it's supposed to be. And so he had gone from place to place, and there was nothing. And this was bothering him. Because of that, he has lost so much resources and so forth. We diagnosed that today, and we operated on him. And, you could hear him singing after the operation, how happy he was.
I know. Yeah. But before I leave you, Dr. Kete, I want to know, Emirates Hospital, according to you, is a state-of-the-art hospital in Bapulu County. Where did you operate from in Bapulu County, and what is the status of that? And, how long, have the people been operating and where they've been operating before you moved to the hospital?
Sure. So we have the Jaralong Hospital here in Bapulu.
How old is it?
From what Bapulu City. From what I've been told, probably it was built in the 90s or early 2000. But it was not built as a hospital. It was built as building being attached. The ventilation was not put in place. So what we call IPC, infection prevention and control mechanism was nowhere. And so based on that, this was something from 2015, I saw this facility. I knew one day we could build a new hospital that takes into consideration everything that a hospital is designed to do. And luckily, for me, I believe in history. Bapulu is very significant to Liberia. Bapulu City is very, very significant. It's one of the oldest cities that we have in this country, even prior to our independence. Chief Kimbozo, the king Kimbozo, It's right here in Buffalo City. And this was because of this old man, this king. Today we have a country called Liberia. He was the one who decided and said, look, my fellow brothers and sisters, kings and queens, let us not put away the settlers. These are our brothers. Let us amend some kind of peaceful negotiation where we can coexist. And it was based on his intervention. Today we have a country called Liberia. Now, another issue is that he was an Islamic. There was a Muslim university in this place many years ago where people leave from Mali and other places to come to school. But how come 200 years later, an Islamic nation that built a relationship with our president because he played soccer in UAE, and based on that, he built a relationship with the people that through that relationship today, 200 years later, we have the most modern facility in this country. I'm saying the most modern facility in this country.
More than the JFK?
Oh, JFK is something. JFK can come close to this hospital, to be honest with you.
Wow.
In terms of the facility, the modern facilities that are there. Even the hospital that I ran, that is also one of the best hospitals in the country. That is the Jackson F. Doe Hospital. This hospital has a lot of things that Jackson Doe does not have.
Wow.
And so this is a hospital that every Liberian needs to be proud of. And I think the people of Buffalo need to be proud of what is here. And this is going to save so many lives, including this hospital was built with an executive suite. So even if the president is not well, he can come over here.
Wow, that's great. Dr. Kete, thank you so much for speaking with us. And it's good, you went back in history and you saying to us that hospital beats even the JFK, is the best hospital in the Republic of Liberia. And it was as a result of the efforts of His Excellency, friendship with his colleagues in the UAE, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
Okay. Washington, you listen to him. I know we'll pass through on this one as I try to connect with the Minister of Internal Affairs, but you can just give your take on it.
Yeah, so certainly listen to him, and what came to my mind is the issue that has to do with the government's concentration when it comes to improving the health sector in the country. You listen to his assertion when he said, he spoke about the previous medical center in that part of the county that
lies in ruins.
Very good. Yeah. That was almost used as the referral, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And now constructing, a state of the art, right? Something monumental, something very strong and long lasting, giving the people this kind of good medical facility. I think, this, should throw a light that the government has got some interest in improving the health sector in the country. Exactly. Now, see what is happening. Currently, people are giving, birth. There are a lot of medical services going on in Bapolu County. Kidma is going to benefit. What the other place named Bomi is going to benefit. And, and all of these surrounding counties are certainly going to benefit.
So Monrovia is going to benefit because if you have, a problem that cannot even be solved at JFK, then you have to go to Emirates Hospital. But let's leave it at that. We have the Minister of Internal Affairs on the line now. Minister Sirleaf, good evening. Welcome to Open Conversation.
Oh, thank you. Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well.
Great.
I'm gearing up for Bikana tomorrow.
What's happening in Grand Bassa tomorrow?
Grand Bassa has decided that tomorrow the president of this country being their nephew, Bassa, they have decided to send for their nephew, who is the president of the republic, to go tomorrow to appreciate him in the process of appreciation to reaffirm their commitment for his re-election. That's why we're going to Grand Bassa tomorrow.
So the euphoria is already built. What do we expect to see when the president arrives tomorrow?
Firstly, we will be passing to Cotton Tree. The Makibi people said that Grand Bassa and Makibi, they are two sister children. So passing to Makibi, just go to Grand Bassa, they will not accept that. They want to show the president appreciation as well. In Cotton Tree, we'll make a stop there. And then from there, we'll be going to the Farmington River, where after you cross the bridge, there where the traditional welcome will be by all of our chiefs, led by Chief Gama, of the traditional chief of Grand Bassa. And then from there, we'll be heading to the fairground, where the action will be.
So the traditional chief of Grand Bassa is going to welcome His Excellency tomorrow to the county. Is that the same chief is going to be welcoming all the other political parties leaders? Is that how it's done? Because you're the Minister of Internal Affairs now, so let me ask you that question.
The chiefs are going to be welcoming the President of the Republic into Grand Bassa. The chiefs, the welcome that chiefs will give to the President of the Republic is not as a candidate. So chiefs,
what is significant?
Maybe a candidate is coming, for example, to go to a welcoming program, is not as the President of the Republic, who happens to be their boss under the leadership of the Minister of Internal Affairs. So the chiefs that will be assembling tomorrow are the chiefs of Grand Bassa, and they will be there in their numbers, and they will be there to appreciate the President and to say to the President that, yes, you are the one that we think you can lead us for the second term, and we support you. That's what they will be doing tomorrow.
So you're the
okay. Is there that after the ceremony at the fairground, we will be having an intercessory service at one of the largest, biggest church in the city of Picana on Sunday before we return.
Okay, let me take you back a little bit to what we're talking about first, because you're the traditional man. You handle all the traditional people in this country. So traditionally, what does that mean if the president is welcomed by the Chief Zoo? And does that Chief Zoo, especially now that we're going towards the elections, will that Chief Zoo, have the authority? Is it, tradition to always welcome other candidates in the county?
The traditional people, when they don't have two terms, if they have declared, which they wish to do tomorrow in Grand Bassa, that yes, Mr. President, when we were walking, yes, you gave a vehicle, you added dignity to us, so we appreciate you. And we think that you're doing very well for this country, which he told me today in a meeting. So you are the one we want to support for 2023, for the 2023 presidential elections. If that is said, and it is consummated, and it passed on to the president, they will not say that to any other person because they have already committed.
How sure are you of this when the daughter of Councillor Bronskin, who is known as the father of Grand Bassa politics, is also running to be vice president in the coming elections on the CPP ticket? And you also have Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence, who is said to be the rescue mother and the mother of Grand Bassa, and she's supporting the former vice president. How sure are you that these chiefs are going to leave all of these people and give their support to the president?
As I said, Titi, traditional people, they have one word. They have decided that it is President Weah that they support. And if that is publicly announced, you as a chief, traditionally, you cannot go against that because you decided willingly to do that. You cannot again go and say to another person to say, yes, you are the one who support. Traditional chiefs will not do that. So if you say how sure I am sure because they were not coerced. This is what, because of the past, what the president is doing. There is now groundbreaking going to be taking place because that was also, I was told that today, groundbreaking will be taking place for the coastal highway. All of those were cited because the coastal highway, if it goes, if it goes on, it's going to be affecting coastal counties and that will be the southeast predominantly. So they told me that if we give the president a second chance, we can see our coastal highway, coming, and then that will help to bring prosperity to us. People making farm now, they can take produce to market, and so in short, TT, the traditional people will now see that they support the president and declare support for the president, and then they'll go and also declare for no, because they have already assessed the candidates. They have already look at their children that are running there, and they think that the president, in my view, is the one that will continue the development that we can see happening right now. I'm sure that won't happen.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Sirleaf. Thank you for speaking with us this evening.
Okay, you're most welcome.
And as he was speaking, something came to my mind, Titi. And do you know who the orator for the 26th Independent Day celebration is?
Unless you tell me. Are you the orator?
Huh?
Are you the orator?
Oh, no, but they are looking at someone called Chief Zanzankawa.
Oh my goodness, really?
You won't believe that. You will say, and it slipped my.
We are the church police in his.
It slipped my mind. So immediately I listened to Minister Vani Sirleaf talking about chief. I think he said chiefs and elders and chiefs.
Okay.
Sounds like came straight to my mind. Okay. Yes.
We'll see what happens. We'll hear what he's going to say to us, the Church police, as he refers to us. But you listen to the Minister of Internal Affairs. You also listen to the Chief Medical Officer of Liberia. We'll take 5 calls on trending issues because our guest is already waiting to speak with us this evening on Open Conversation. But it's a tradition that we open up the lines for you to make your input. So this evening we'll give opportunity to 5 persons to do so. Can you call the numbers?
So the numbers are 0880-514-096, right?
Yeah, you're smart. Mr. Wisa is smart. Okay.
I just gotta recite it that way.
Okay. Let's talk to our very first caller.
Hello? Do we have a caller? Hello? Hello?
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
Pascal David. Thank you so much, CCT, and for the program. Well, this issue of the spoon stuff is in court, and we are very advised not to speak about it until this out. I'm interested in my president going to the Canada tomorrow. That's what I got my interest.
Pascal?
Yeah.
We're losing you, sir.
Yeah.
We were losing you, but we are getting you now. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I say I'm interested in the president's visit to Buchanan. I'm not interested in spoon stuff. It's in the court. Let the lawyers decide that. So I want to wish the president, a very successful trip in Buchanan, and we hope that the people of Buchanan, they're always very receptive. So I know they're going to receive the president. And wish you all of the best on tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pascal. Let's grab this person. Welcome. What's your name? Where you call from? Yes, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where you call from? You have to be a little audible, sir, please.
Go
ahead, sir.
Yeah, I don't listen to the program. It got me too much there. I don't want to be part of
Okay.
Yes. But I know what the chief talking about. It stopped me too much. I said about too much. Yeah.
Then keep listening to the show. Then it will be spazzing you too much.
All right.
Okay. Let's grab this person. Welcome. What's your name? Where you come from?
Yeah, good evening, Titi, and good evening to your co-host.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Bishop B. Cholokia, and I'm calling you from my news resident.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Titi, thank you. I want to comment on the health sector.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to Dr. Francis Kete. He elaborated very excellently. But my fear is, after everything here all learned about the hospital in Brabolu, and we are, let's say a month ago, I listened to a sister radio station outlining that, to be precise, TSA outlining that even the hospital is well built, is worth so many millions of dollars, but they have no equipment to contain all of the patients and to continue
so who do you believe? The people who are working in the hospital, the people who were there when the hospital was built, and the people who are providing the services in the hospital, and people who just get on the radio and just say things that probably they have no understanding about. Who do you believe?
Yeah, thank you. This is the reason why I'm excited tonight to hear Dr. Francis Kete clarifying and telling the Liberian people that everything that we listen to was live, and I believe Dr. Francis Kete.
Okay, thank you.
I'm grateful for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Let me say good evening to Titi and Okonos.
Okay.
This is Glory Abu Meska. I joined the discussion this evening.
Probably go ahead, sir.
I joined the discussion this evening from District 6 or Estikupolo. But when it comes to the health issue, we shouldn't play politics with it. Or they'll go in lawmaker or senator from our country, the hospital is busy. First of all, maybe when we say they applaud the government for the structure of the hospital. But the hospital has to put in the fear. Because a lawmaker from our country sat on the radio station and made all to understand that the structure is there, but no medication, even though the hospital is being closed. What a wrong. In the building hospital. So why not that we tell some of us that the hospital will be open to the public on tomorrow?
You know what? No. It's good to listen and comprehend well. It's not all about, just being political about everything. I listened to the Gbapolu senator, and what you're talking about, it was in the news. You hear the chief medical officer telling you that 10 operations were performed over there today. Little girl.
Abu, this is a conversation. Can you hold on,
and you
please?
expect me to answer who and to tell you who to believe? Believe the doctor who is responsible for health, and not a senator who is looking to score political points. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think we will stop it right there with the calls.
We took 4. Let's just take the final call and then we're done. Okay. Let's just take this final call.
Hello.
And then we'll go back to our guest.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, good evening. Washington City.
Good evening.
My name is Winston Bobby Mitchell. I am the chairman of the Rural Mosurala Resident Movement for the re-election of President George Manuel. I want to thank you so kindly for your talking point tonight. Let me say to you people, no matter what the opposition do, President Weah has already been re-elected. You go up, you come down. He's already been re-elected. And we can say to them tomorrow, the program in Grand Bassa is a program that is going to say to the Liberian people that we should not worry. President George Manuel Weah is going to be retained as our president for 2 good years in this country, because the number of achievements we have seen in our country, for us, for some of us, we have been seeing for in government. Today, tomorrow, we are ready to take President Weah back to the executive mansion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for. So, Titi, we call it up there. Okay.
Okay, so
We get back to you.
so tomorrow the president will be received in Grand Bassa County as he listened to the Minister of Internal Affairs, and we also know that on Monday is going to be a big program. Like I said earlier, the seditians are going to say thank you to His Excellency, thank you, Mr. President. The students will be turning out to say thank you, Mr. President, for making sure that our parents don't have the burdens of paying WAS fees. We know that people who live in Johnsonville, people who live in Partnersville, people who live Ominga will go and tell the president, thank you for the roads, that are springing out all over the place. And they can go to their homes, and their old cars can be saved.
At least they can go home 12 o'clock.
Yeah, anytime, you can drive on a paved road, especially people pipeline. The people of pipeline, I know, will be turning out. We are told they will be turning out to tell the president, thank you. For 6 years now, you've been, governing this country. We appreciate you. And so it's going to be a big deal. We are told on Monday, the mobilization is all over the place. We're told that seditionists are going to lock down the city on Monday. So we look forward to what's going to happen on Monday, and we'll bring you bits and pieces right here on Open Conversation. Do we have our guest? Or he's gone off? Okay, so let's wait until our guest comes back on, but that's what's going to happen on Monday at the CDC headquarters. We already see that there are a whole lot of mobilization going on, because even today at the party headquarters, there is this big program
certification program.
Okay.
I was coming and I saw the multiplicity of people gathered to celebrate at the party's headquarters. And I saw seditions, I saw supporters, I saw fanatics, and I saw well-wishers of the CDC movement. And the program, the intent of the program is to certificate, those people who were the victors of the primaries, and also to appreciate, right? Because this has got to do with political cohesiveness, right? That means even though Titi and I, we went to the primaries, but Titi won the primaries, and I will not have to tell my supporters not to support Titi, because we all are looking at the bigger picture, the same agenda. And what is the agenda? Is to ensure that the party, CDC, and the president, have the resounding, mandate of the people for the second term, right? So it was a glamorous one today.
Yeah,
very, very fantabulous.
So our guest is back on, and so let's welcome him, Mr. Flomore. How are you? Welcome to Open Conversation.
Thank you very much,
Mr. Flomore. I think you've muted yourself.
No, I'm not. More, can you get me?
How you doing?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, now we're hearing you.
I'm not. More, can you get me?
We're getting you now. How are you?
Increases volume.
I'm okay.
How are you? Exhausted today? Nomination?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, quite exhausted, but again,
Is that your neck jacket you're wearing there? You're already ready.
Exhausted, but again. It's part of it from the SKD Sports Complex.
So I was saying that you're wearing your neck, your neck jacket. You're already ready.
SKD Sports Complex. Where,
okay, Chala, what do you want to say again? Chala Greenfield, hold on for me, Mr. Flomo. Hold on, Chala is on my back. Let me hear what he has to say.
Mr. Wizard Jacob, Mr. Wizard.
Chala, you picking for?
I'm just here at the citizen headquarters.
Okay.
I just saw LBS to the entering the compound. I know who drive that car, but I came here for a long while, right? But then you see the turnout of Liberians who are here tonight. I don't know what it comes out. I think it's the same thing you talking about earlier on the radio, right?
Okay.
They are getting prepared for George Ria's program in Bassa tomorrow. Then somebody asked me, Johnny, you going tomorrow? I said, what? I don't want to go. I will be there tomorrow. But the guys have resolved that this is a major program that brings Joshua to the next election just in a few months.
Okay, Jala. I can feel the enthusiasm.
Is very bad.
I'm getting the vibes.
I got the car. Got the place. Not say I got the car.
Okay, just to talk to us, right?
And tap here. Tell what happened here. If people walking, no car from the people walking.
Ella, I can imagine what's gonna happen on Monday.
I'm thinking you see what thing people are walking, no car to go home. They are walking right now as I speak to you today.
Okay, Chala, we have to leave you at that because we already have our guests. But thank you so much for filling us in with that information this evening. Thank you, Mr. Jala Grayfield. Okay, that's Jala there for you, and he says he's at the CDC headquarters, and hundreds of people have turned out just for this. Thank you to these people who participated in the primaries.
Exactly.
And you can imagine what's going to happen on Monday.
Exactly.
But Henry, okay, so Henry gone off again. Henry, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry about that. I know you come back on. Okay, you're on. Good. I was asking earlier on, I said, I see you with your jacket, and today nomination is over, right? Am I right? Henry? Mr. Flomo, you hearing me? You please unmute yourself. I think you've muted yourself.
Yeah, I'm on now.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, good. We're getting you now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm on now.
Okay. So I was just trying to make sure. Are we done with candidate nominations today?
Yes, the candidate nomination officially ended.
Henry,
today.
Are you getting me?
Yes, the candidate nomination officially ended today.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. So let's begin with that. Candidate nomination ended officially today. What does that mean? And to complete this question, tell us, how many political parties were certificated today by the National Elections Commission? How many males? How many females so far?
Okay, I'm just dealing with the final data. And
I'm just dealing with the final data.
Okay.
And
I'm getting feedback from myself, so it's difficult for me actually.
And I'm getting feedback from myself, so it's difficult for me actually.
Yeah, but let me just go this way.
You say what? Getting feedback.
But
you don't have all the numbers.
Go this way.
Go ahead.
We have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
go ahead, please.
For president, we have a total of 20.
Okay, so for president, we have a total of 20.
For
20,
the same number. Senators are 100.
For vice president, obviously the same number.
800.
Senators are 100. The House of Representatives are
those
890. So the panel is
1,000.
Those who turn out,
of course, the breakdowns are there.
Is 1,000.
We only have one.
So of course the breakdowns are there. Of course we only have one female
by a male
for the presidency, and of the 20, 19 are male.
Was like I said, they are 100,
and for the Senate.
Persons attempting for that.
Of course, like I said,
independent,
are 100
female
persons attempting for that.
4 male.
For independent, you have
party, you have 6
female,
and
4 male. From party, you have 6 female.
That brings a total of 7% on the side of the female.
That brings a total of
for the House of Representatives, you have
on the side of the female.
Female.
What everybody wants to hear. For the House of Representatives, you have 41 female.
Party, they are 102 female.
And
then, of course,
for party, they are 102
female from parties. And like I said, it's total 890 coming from parties. Like I said, the candidate nomination ended with 830 persons. The candidate nomination ended with 1,030 persons being processed.
And 1,030 persons have been processed. So 100 of them are.
And our total of those female is 159.
100 and what?
159.
Did you say 159 female total?
Yeah, 159. 159. A percentage of 15%. 871. 159 for female, which is 15%. 871, which is 85% for male.
Male 85%. Okay, Mr. Flomo, that leads me before my colleague comes in to my next question. What is it? We've got only 15% female participation. How does that, what signal does that send when it comes to your, what the neck, sorry? What does that mean? Because we thought that what we know about the new elections law is that political parties should endeavor to ensure that at least they have, 30% female representation. And that doesn't seem to be what's happening when we listen to these results now from the NEC as it relates to the candidate nominations. Mr. Flomo, are you getting me? Mr. Flomo, I think Mr. Flomo is a bit off again.
Seems to be terrible out here, but I think from what we are hearing, Titi, the figures that he's given, they don't seem to be welcoming, when it comes to women participation in these elections. You cannot have 85% of men, male dominant elections, and we're talking about making sure that women come to the political pedestal. I don't know how it sounds to you, Titi. I just don't know.
You don't know how it sounds to me?
I don't know.
That sounds to you.
But I feel that it is disingenuous when it comes to women participation in national politics, and I feel that they deserve it. They should get involved. The National Elections Commission, these different political parties must encourage women participation, Titi. And come on, 15%? What does that mean? This is half of the 30% women participation in national politics. This is on a downward trend.
Henry is back. I don't want to jump to conclusions until I hear from Henry.
Yeah.
Henry, did you get my question? Henry? Are you muted again? Can you unmute yourself? Because we're not getting you.
Regarding the minimum 30% quota.
So, did you get my question?
Regarding the minimum 30% quota.
Yeah, sure.
I'm saying,
what can you say to
relating
that?
To the 30%.
Is there anything the National Elections Commission can do about that?
Is it relating to the 30%?
Absolutely. Yes, because in the new election law, it says that, political parties should endeavor to ensure that, at least they have 30% women representation. But the numbers you're giving us doesn't seem to be that way. Is there anything the national elections can do about that? Oh my God.
Seems to be horrible here tonight.
Henry, I don't know. It's
yeah, it's terrible, very very terrible. So Titi, I think let's wait on him.
We can wait on him. The time is going, so he will come back on. Henry, if you can call in instead of doing it via the social media or the internet, that is a bit difficult. That will be good for us, and then we can talk about the issues. I think it's going to help us a lot than what's going on right now, because there are lots and lots of questions to be answered concerning what's going on at the National Elections Commission, and people need to be informed about that. And
we're running against time.
Okay, let's take this short break and see whether we can get in touch with Henry, and then we'll be back.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say united we stand, divided we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget that. You from Lower County, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sessi. I'm a bad way on your river. I walk on the fine way. Tabila, Kriwako. I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah.
I was raised in the slum, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the sun, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love that I be. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I hold in your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. So that's what they say when I come with ball. When I chillin' on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this city. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, that's joining the team. You go, you Pella, you Lama, or Crown. Who kill it? Who got Jono?
I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mama was born, yeah. Papa was born, yeah. They hold us together, the honey boy, yeah. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kubo. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kubo. Nabali pole po, na papa kubo. Nabali pole po, na papa kubo. La biro waka poma o, la biro waka ma o. Baganda anwa waka ma o, anwa waka ma o. Anwa kole.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say united we stand, divided we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget that. You from Lower County, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sessi. I'm a bad way on your river. I walk on the fine way. Tabila, Kriwako. I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Play for me and you.
Welcome back to Open Conversation. We are trying to get in touch with Mr. Flomo to see whether we can do it via the phone, because the social media seems not to be working this evening, and we can't continue because we are dealing with time. So there's a series of things we want to talk about here, and it's important that we talk it over with the person responsible, the spokesperson at the National Elections Commission, who is Mr. Henry Flomo. You listen to Mr. Flomo talking about us having 20 presidential candidates, and we have only one female. It seems to be a really crowded field. But Henry is on the line now. Henry, thank you so much for coming back on. Henry, you have to lower the volume of your receiver. We're getting feedback.
Okay. Is that better?
A little bit. Can you lower it again a little bit for me? Okay. Yeah. I'm still hearing myself though.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut it off.
So you have to move from around the radio, because if you're around the radio, we will still have feedback. So either you cut it off or you move from around the radio. That's the only way we'll get you.
If you're around the radio, we will still have feedback.
Henry, you gotta move away from the radio, or you cut it off. Cut it.
One line of cut off. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, better. So I was asking you this question. You were talking about just 15% of the female candidates so far. I want to know what the national elections, is there anything the NEC can do about that? Because in your laws, it tells the parties, the political parties, to endeavor to ensure that they have at least 30% women representation. Is there anything the NEC can do about that?
Well, first of all, I want to say that the process closed when it comes to receiving degree, but the screening continues. People were also received today, so I just sort of made that clarification first. But the point is, it's a difficult situation because they nominated what they could nominate. So it's difficult for the NEC to say, because the process has ended. They promised to do, like you talked about earlier, the 4.5 able to issue. So the NEC, through other partners, try to please get the parties to make some commitments, which they did after we began, and they came up with, an MOU, which was signed in front of local and international partners, for role here, and they committed themselves. But again,
they didn't live up to their commitment.
From our indication, difficult. But again, there where we are, and the NEC is continuing. You never tell. Maybe at the end of the day, the could go up with percent because the screening process is still on. But the data I have now is what we have. It could go up. It could remain. But the point is, those are the numbers they've nominated, and we no longer receive entries. So it's difficult. But I think it's a process, and the NEC doing everything in its powers to make sure that we do.
When you talk about the screening process still going on, what does that mean?
Oh, okay. The screening process, that means normally when you bring a document, they're screened. After everything, a preliminary listing will be out on the 18th, and then, of course, before the final listing. So the whole nomination is a process. What ended today is the receiving of entries that ended, which is the 14th. Yeah.
Were there some rejections of aspirants who didn't meet the basic threshold of the NEC?
Well, there could be, but you can't know now. Like I said, the screening is continuing. We have a scrutiny team that, after all of these, scrutiny team will go ahead with their work. And then, of course, they will make recommendations to the board of directors, the board of commissioners that are headed by Madam Lasana. And then they will review and approve.
Is it possible that somebody can be rejected after you have announced that that person, has been, nominated to contest? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. That's why after the scrutiny team do their job, they would now send it to the board.
Okay.
Board
that and see approval. If they have forms, of course, they will raise them. Then after that, they will send it back. And then, of course, that will now, the media start now will make sure that it goes to the public, the preliminary listing. You know, and then, of course, after that, when that period is over, then we have what we call final list. The day the final listing comes out is the day campaign officially starts. And, of course, that is expected to be on the 5th of August.
The 5th of August.
Yeah, so,
okay.
Yeah, so possibility that someone could be denied. These are records. The checking. So many things. You make a lot of requirements.
Okay.
Thing of taxes, age, you know.
Age limit. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of things are involved.
So if you don't meet that criteria, the possibility still exists that even though you have been certificated, you can still be disqualified.
No, we didn't certificate. We haven't certificate. Those things that they are posting, it's just to say that you have been processed.
Okay. Okay. So though you've been processed, you can still be denied if you don't meet the minimum threshold.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay.
The screening team got many eyes. We have a lot of experienced people, lawyers as well. So they will do their screening. And then the board also, we have to sit and look at them and see for approval. And then, of course, it comes to the public and for public vetting as well. So it is very honest business. Denial is a possibility depending on what you presented. So again, we didn't certificate. The certificate, what we give you mostly is to show that you have gone through the process, and then, but politicians are politicians. They will take pictures and do what they have. I mean, that is all right.
Yeah. So encourage the people who they want to vote for them that, they have, passed one stage, even though they're still being processed technically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Flomo, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. From the preliminary report that you're given, can I call this preliminary, right?
We haven't given a list.
No, you give the list of 20 persons you have for presidency. The Senate you have 100. The representative you have 890. That sum up the total of 1,030. Am I correct?
Yeah, we've been posting almost daily figures as people come in their process. But this is not a figure that you want to take, as is, because like I said, the war has ended is the receiving of entries. In other words, from today, 5 p.m., we would not receive any more entry for the purpose of nomination. Okay? So what we have, there will be screening, there will be processes. So the screening team, there's a possibility that they could deny people. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand that, Mr. Flomo, but here is my question. With these figures coming out, it doesn't seem encouraging for me. I was just sharing with my colleague T. It doesn't seem encouraging for me when the National Elections Commission has said that they take more interest in women participation, at least 30%. What happens if you, the National Elections Commission, has realized that that part of your law has not been met by these political parties, because these numbers that are coming in doesn't seem really encouraging for women participation?
So maybe you will have to take a suggestion, because I'm saying that the law says endeavor to issue a nomination at least minimum 30% could come from both male and female. All right? And the men try to make some intervention where the parties can make some commitment. And they make some commitment that they will do their best to make sure they meet the threshold.
And they didn't live up to that. Okay.
So
I'm not a member of any party to know why some of them did not meet the threshold. So you might want to ask some of them probably what are the issues. What probably led to some of the females not reaching to the number that probably would be appreciable in terms of the minimum 30%.
Okay. So Mr. Flomo, we get that because that's all you can do. They are told to endeavor to ensure that they do that. If they don't do that, we should be asking them that question: why they don't, have those amounts of women on their party tickets. That's for sure. Some time ago, you threatened to climb down on politicians and parties involved in pre-campaigning. Where are we on that?
Well, I think the next time the chair speaks, I'm sure she's going to update because it's a little difficult thing because the country is big. I would say from the look of things, I think they are cooperating. So but again, let's wait for the nice press conference. I'm sure the chairperson, Madam Director Don Lasana, we'll give update on that.
Can you tell us about, the level of national government and partner support for the forthcoming elections? Is there anything you can tell the Liberian people tonight concerning that?
Yeah, we are in good standing with both the government and our international partners, including UNDP. I like to mostly speak on the media side. Mm-hmm. This is the second of a series of workshops for media people being sponsored by the UNDP and, of course, the National Election Commission and Internews. This next week, beginning Monday, we'll be reviewing and validating our code of conduct for media coverage. Most of the reporters are also part of it. That's also supported by our international partners, including Sweden, Irish Aid. So yes, we are in a good rapport with both the government and our international and local partners.
What are the issues you consider to be key challenges now confronting the National Elections Commission?
Well, again, let me put it on my side when it comes to public information, disinformation. The last time we had 4 different workshops, and the third person even made remarks, and we are hoping that the media will guide against disinformation, fast-checking, double-check the information, and make sure that, because we can't afford to undermine the process. We want a peaceful election, and to continue with that, we all have to make sure that we cross-check our fights. We make sure that we don't bring about a crisis through our reporting. Of course, you know that the parties signed the Farmington River Declaration. The Farmington River Declaration is signed by the parties. They've also signed the VAWI, Violence Against Women in Election and Politics. Of course, we can talk more about the 30% now. That is almost over now. And so we hope that, of course, the media and the security sign these standard operating procedures to make sure that both sides, respect one another in terms of rules and responsibilities. So a lot of things happening.
Mr. Flomo.
Again, let me just add before you bring that question.
Okay.
The government said owes the commission 6.2 million out of 53 billion. So we hope that can come in, as quickly as possible, so that we keep moving non-stop, because we are constitutionally bound to do our job. Liberia is among few countries this election is mentioned in the Constitution, second Tuesday in October. So we can afford, to play around our date.
So when is that money expected from the government? Because now I hear you talking about that, and you don't want to miss your dates.
If they bring it tonight, it will be very happy.
Okay.
Yes, as we praise them for doing very, very well, we also hope that they can play a part. Yes.
looks like the entire rat is eating now, the kill. But we have no doubts that they will
live up to that.
As much as possible.
Yeah. So, sir, the elections in October is going to be constructively tense. Now, what will be the position of the National Elections Commission when it comes to these political parties that will be involved or be engaged into, executing violence all around the place? What will be the position of NEC against these different political parties, sir?
Well, the position of NEC is to make sure that we all adhere to the commitment we've made. As I said, the parties, including the ruling party, signed on to the Farmington River Declaration. And if you read that document, it got a lot of things. So major among it, of course, is to make sure that the elections are peaceful. And for instance, it is NEC have the right to announce winners. We have results. We have to remain peaceful. Of course, the issue of women and people living with disability, their political participation is key in the documents. Of course, it also signed on the FAWI. So these are documents that the Election Commission is praying that they continue to respect those documents. So again, the media, like I said, the media plays a key role because a lot of the things we're talking about, are propagated through the media. And this is why the NEC continues to found its partners to support this training and, awareness exercises with the media.
I know, sir.
We are going to review the code of conduct, but we took extra day one, strictly on reminding our media people about these documents, the Farmington River, the FAWI, the SOPs between security people and journalists. We'll keep reminding them the issue of, political participation on the part of women and people living with disability. So after that, before even we go to our review. So we will continue to remind the political parties.
There is one thing to remind, and there is another thing to implement. So if Washington, I have been reminded by the National Elections Commission that my political party should not get involved with violence, and I ignore that reminder, do I expect the National Elections Commission to give me any punishment?
Oh, yeah.
And what punishment would that be?
Well, I can't say what punishment. That was the category of whatever offense, but there are indeed punishment, Yeah, the election was clear. You read Section 10, for instance, you get a lot on violations, when it comes to elections.
Mr. Flomo, now this is the rainy season. Tell us something about, the logistical standing of the commission in reaching out to the 15 counties that we have.
It was a very tough challenge. I remember at some point we had encountered the military people. We will try, but it is a big challenge.
It's a big challenge. Okay. Tell us something, about, the relationship you have built or you have been able to build with political parties and their actors going forward. Now we talk about the Farmington Declaration that has not been, adhered to by the political parties. You've got just 15% women representation so far. Talk about, the relationship so far.
Relationship, you mean with the parties?
Yeah, with the political parties. And
so far, I heard you say they haven't adhered to no date.
But portions of it now, they endeavor to ensure it's in your new election law. Nothing has happened concerning that so far. If you look at, the records with the political parties and the women they're putting forth, the numbers are very, very small.
I remember during the last media dialogue and Washington
sharpen this information and fast checking. I kept telling media, the best we can do as media people is to name and shame those who might attempt to, to sway from for instance, the Farmington River Declaration, for instance. So because the NEC will appeal to stakeholders to adhere to these commitments, but how far can you go? So for me, I keep telling the media, remind them, and this is why we continue to remind the very media to read the Farmington River Declaration, read the Valley Protocol. When you read these documents, you're not the those of these political parties and the partners and the stakeholders. So that look, we've agreed to do this. Let's do this. But so far, I'm proud to say the parties are committed, because so far there have been no problem. Except that the issue of where you talk about, the issue of free campaigning, we haven't seen any major problem, and we hope that it continues like this until elections are held on October 10th. So it is important, and back to the remaining money, this cash would needed for procurement. We have a lot of procurements to do, and of course we still got a lot of activities. But again, we're not placing a deadline, so to speak. But
okay.
Fair to say that
you want your money. You want your money to do your work, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. I see you got new parties, updated listing. In the elections law, the new elections law, I see the parties you got listed. There are 5 political parties that participated in the past elections, didn't get the required threshold, which is 2% of the valid vote count, and they are on your list to participate in these elections. And let me call their names. The names of those political parties are, the Liberia Transformation Party that got 0.3% of the vote of candidate Sandy. The New Liberia Party got 0.3% of the vote, Trudeau Williams Weah Party. The Vision for Liberia Transformation got 0.3% of the vote of Jeremiah Wapo. And where's the other one? Okay, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm missing something here. There are 5 political parties, but I see these political parties, they are registered. They're among your new parties. The Liberia People's Party got 0.7% in 2017 of H. Burma Family. And Movement for Progressive Change of Simeon Freeman got 0.4%. And I see their names are, on the list of political parties, the new party listing you have on. They didn't reach the 2% threshold. What's going on? Are they going to be allowed to participate in these elections, even though they didn't meet the minimum threshold?
Well, I think I want to you on that, because I don't have much detail as to the percentages really, so I don't want to go into that. So I probably the next time I will be able to say something about that.
These percentages are from your website. I took them from the NEC website. They're enough.
Yes, so I want to say we have 40 registered parties in Nigeria, inclusive of the alliances and coalitions. So I want to stop to that level. Once I get the details, probably in the next interview, I don't know when would that be. I could be able to expand on that. But for now, the parties that presented interest are what we've posted. Maybe further details could come out, but I want to go further on, on other issues, because I don't have the details for now.
So can we go back? I have the law, the new election law, and can we go back to the new election laws, and then we come back to those parties that are on your listing, and then you speak to that? Because I was looking at the law, and then I compare the list with the last elections in 2017, and if that is what your law says, and you have these people, and I also see the time. I wanted to ask you as it relates to the time, because I see in the law it says that we or political parties or ordinary citizens are given 7 days to kind of complain. Is it that you're waiting for the complaint to come to you, and you can't stop these people from, registering even though they didn't meet the minimum threshold, or what is it? And it's important for the public to know.
Yeah, I just said the NEC, as I speak, recognizes individual parties, 40 of them. And then, of course, within that, you have coalitions and alliances. So, yes, on the record, the parties that present entries remain legal until otherwise ordered, because I don't have any detail beyond what I'm saying. But as I speak to you, the NEC is operating with 40 political parties, registered political parties, and of course that includes alliances and coalitions.
And I get it clear when you talk about alliances and coalitions, and so that is the reason why those parties that are in that are aligning with other parties, I didn't call their names because I know there are other parties aligning with other parties because they didn't meet the minimum threshold. There are other parties in coalition with other parties now because they didn't meet the threshold, so they didn't put themselves out there for what is happening. But there are other parties knowing fully well they didn't meet the threshold minimum, and they have still registered. And it's important for us to know whether or not these people will participate. And going back to your own law, it says that, Mr. Flomo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Your law, the new election law, let me put it that way, also talks about, remedy to that problem. And that was the remedy I wanted us to look at. But if you're saying you don't have answers to that, then it makes it difficult for us. Because in the law, it gives time.
Yeah, but whether you are in alliances, coalition, or standing alone, of course, you have to still be legal. I'm saying that when I get whatever information you want regarding whether some people are listed here who should be delisted or not, I will give it to you. But for now, I'm saying that NEC has recognized 40 registered political parties, including the coalitions and alliances. So I'm not going back and forth or trying to dispute what you say or whatever.
Are you going to delist some parties? Is it possible? Is it going to happen in the future? Is there any possibility for that to happen?
But if the legal arm of the NEC suggests that will be done. But until then, I'm saying that 40 parties are recognized. So once that information is provided, especially to our legal people, if I had known that probably you had that on the tip, probably I would have consulted legal people. But for now, I want you to accept that the parties are 40 who are registered, and I don't know if all of them were able to provide entry. Yeah, so once that information is ready, I can give it. But the legal people will do their best on that to see who is supposed to be accepted as per your quotations and who are not. So, but now, it's not about whether you are giving wrong data or not. I'm just thinking whether they are true or not. When I get that legal advice, when the legal people speak on that, I can be able to provide that to you.
Okay, Mr. Flomo, thank you very much for lending your thoughts on that. But to this, Mr. Flomo, you just stated that the government owes you some 6 million, stuff like that. What is your relationship with those people that you're trying to work with as net workers? How far are we with the getting them, making sure that you provide some tutorials for them, because these elections seem to be very, very serious. And more besides, we need people who will be, astronomically educated about the operations of the National Elections Commission in terms of conducting these elections. So how far are we? How good are we on that, sir?
On what? I didn't get a part. On what? On training networkers?
Exactly. On making sure you recruit networkers and train them appropriately to conduct the elections, because the oppositions are complaining that there are possibilities that the NEC this and the NEC is that and all of that. Unprepared people are coming into the system and all of that. So can you be able to clear out to the public on how are you arranging on getting these people into the system?
So I think your question is loaded with too many speculations. But the point remains that I don't care how many times we conduct elections. We do in-house training. All right? I don't care. Even if after these general elections, if there are by-elections maybe a month or two later, we still go back. And first we do lessons learned, and then from there we do training at every interval. And not just that, step training start with a few people, then it's cascading, right? It goes down to temporary staff. So to say people coming in, I don't know who is coming in, so probably if you have something we can talk about directly, but we don't even start training with our temporary staff. We start with ourselves. From there, for instance, if a temporary training, for instance, we start with headquarters, magistrate, assistant magistrate, supervisors, and then who will then train staff. So training is continuous at the level of NEC. Okay. And NEC remains competent. These elections are not different from the last elections. The laws remain the laws. The procedures are there, and we'll have training manuals. And we hope that.
That means the public can trust the credibility of the election, sir.
Come again?
That means the public can trust the credibility of the elections.
Well, it's not what you say. It's what we do.
No, but that's what I'm asking you.
I'm coming.
With all of these mechanisms being put into place, that means the public can trust the credibility of the elections.
No, listen. The issue of trust is not just I tell you, trust me. We exhibit trust. For instance, accreditation started from June 10th. It will run up to September 11th. Accreditation of media people, accreditation of local and international observers, security, and most importantly, party agents. So the process is everybody's business. So it's not like NEC is conducting. Let me give you an example. We conducted the voter registration, both places. What did we do to have the public participate? We exhibited the provisional rule for you to go and how to make claims, how to make corrections or make claims of people, because it's a process of NEC act and then give it back to the public. For instance, we just concluded the issue of receiving entries for the nomination of candidates, which is another way of saying candidate registration. Now, by the 18th, we're going to put that list back to the public to do what you will term as public, auditing. So it is not that next sit and just do something and push it to you. No, it comes up to you. So what we do, we go to elections. Media people are to be accredited. Media people will have access to the polling room. The only place the media people don't have access to the voting screen. Only one person goes there because of the secrets of the ballot. So when you have someone just neck cheat me or neck wants to cheat, you as a media person, and that's why we keep having to questions so that you as a media person understand the procedure. Because if you don't understand, you be carried away by all of the allegations. Sometimes just,
okay.
Mr. Flomo, before we go to the lines, the elections we're having, now is totally different from what we had in the past. Can you tell us a little bit of what we will expect as citizens going to the elections, especially on 14th day?
Yeah,
because we hear about biometric, biometric.
The biometric. The biometric is for the voter registration, because the big cry then that the roll is not clean, the roll got so many double or triple registrants and what have you. So we brought these technologies. We make a perfect roll. So, but the voting will be the same way as we voted, for instance, by elections in 2017. But of course, the registration was biometric. Yeah, so it's not totally different. I don't want to say it that way.
Okay, so it's a little bit different. So what's the difference?
The difference is that we don't have issue with roll having problems. Like we had 2017, our complaints about the roll is not good, because that was
you're talking about the voter roll, right?
Yeah.
So what if somebody registered in Monrovia and left for Grangida and registered again? What happens? Where is that person going to be counted?
Well, I don't know, but we've passed that, because
were you able to detect something like that? Now that you have a biometric system?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so if the person
over 2,000 double registration were taken out, and also we projected what we thought were honor age around 500 plus.
I want to talk about the double registering. So the possibility is that I registered in Monrovia and then I go to Bone County and register there, for instance, and you detect that I did 2 registrations. What did you do in that process? Did you leave me one place, or you took me out totally?
Yeah, well, the law is that you take the first place, but sometimes too, it depends sometimes on the situation, because if it's involving issues of criminality, then of course may cannot go further. We turn you over to the Justice Ministry, but we weeded out. We were able to discover more than 2,000 of that. And then, of course, like I said, honor age. And then...
So I hear you say you leave me into the first place. So it means that if I registered first in Monrovia, I will remain in Monrovia.
One vote. One vote. One person, one vote.
I agree with you, Mr. Flomo, but people are very disingenuous. So they register here and register there. And they will be thinking, maybe, I'll find myself in Bone County on election day. I'm not sure what I'll be in Montserrado County. So if you're saying that you left me to the first place because I registered in Montserrado, then they will understand that they will not be counted in Bone County. I understand now that I will not be counted in Bone County, but I'll be counted in Montserrado. Is that it? Or, or
something else?
You're taking me, off totally. I think it's very important to provide that information.
So your question is, you register?
I register in Montserrado, then I register in Bone County. Am I staying after your process? Where would I be? Will I be taken off completely, or I'll remain in Montserrado?
Well, I think you're giving a hypothetical case. But
sure.
The thing is, once you register more than once, the technology will flag you.
And what happens then?
What happens is you'll be taken off.
Totally.
Entirely.
The law says you where you first register, you can be
considered there.
Yeah, but I don't know if there were cases like the way you explain it, because there were 2 phases. You have first 6 counties, you have second 9 counties. So that's by the way, I like the hypothetical part.
Mr. Flomo, we'll take 5.
The point is one person to a vote, and then the second is the duplicate would be posted at the back of the FRR. The
photos, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if maybe somebody turn or whatever, all right? So they will not be on roll. Okay.
You put them on the back for what?
Well, just for verification. Just for starting party.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything we do, it has to be transparent because not just enough for the next to say, hey, we took off maybe 2,000 double registration.
Okay, you put it there for us to see, and those people who before the system. Okay, okay, Mr. Flomo, let's leave you at that, and just keep listening. And at the tail end, we'll bring you back. Let's get the engagement of the people who are listening. Yeah. Let's hear what they have to say. And if you're following us online, you can leave your comments, and we will read them out for you.
So can call the numbers, right?
Yeah.
0880-514-096 are the numbers to call, and you'll be part of this conversation. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and where you call from?
Thank you. This is Leader Soiree, the representative expired in District 13.
Leader Soiree, but go ahead.
Yeah, so let me appreciate you guys for the show tonight, and also your guest.
Okay.
So firstly, let me appreciate the National Elections Commission, most especially the team at the SKD. I mean, this is one of the very first processes where I've witnessed all of this. Anyone asking you for water.
You're coming in broken, sir.
So, am I clear now?
Yeah,
yes,
better. Okay, so like I was saying, I'd like to appreciate them for the work done thus far. Mostly the guys at the SKD, you will go through your processes and without anyone asking you for cold water. I think that was a very good thing to do. But now, here's it. I didn't listen to him talking about people who did double registration. So let's say, for instance, in my district, at some polling places, you'll go and see names of people who did double registration. They registered somewhere else, and they came and also did registration in the district. In my view, that is criminal. Those people should not be given consideration to vote because they want to corrupt the system. So if these kind of people are caught, in my view, they should not be allowed to vote because they attempt to corrupt the system.
Okay.
They really need to work on that. And I'd like to ask him, there were people who did not have the time maybe to verify their names. Why did I go to the center to vote on election day? And I noticed that my name is not on the voter roll, but yet I have my voter identification card. What that situation is going to be like and what is going to be done to remedy that situation. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Soiree, thank you for your call. Mr. Flomo is going to respond to that. I'm tempted to, talk a little bit about that, but I'm not going to do that. Mr. Flomo is going to do.
Let's take the calls. Good evening. Good evening.
He's still holding the line.
Good evening. Hello.
0880-514-096 is the number to call, and you will be live on Open Conversation and speak with the Communications Director at the National Elections Commission, Mr. Henry Flomo, talking about, all of the election issues we're having.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and where you call from?
Thank you. This is Otis Call.
Come again, I didn't get you.
This is Otis Call, Evangelist Otis Call.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
I do join you from GSA this evening.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to tap in the question that the candidate, the candidate who just left the line, when you talk about the issue of double registration, even though I listened to on the phone, but I want to know.
Honorable who?
Mr. Flomo, not Flomoya.
Flomo.
Okay, sorry. Mr. Flomo. So you can ask the question about delisting those people who do get double registration. I think because the question you asked is hypothetical, as you said it, but those people they should have been architect and put up that people have eliminated the system.
I don't know what happened to our lines tonight. I don't know if it's raining on your end again, but you know, the lines are really, really terrible tonight also. Well, we're in the rainy season anyway, so we can understand. 080-514-096, and you'll be live on Open Conversation. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, I'm Justin Yoda calling from Namba in Nigeria.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to ask a question, please. Just in case maybe I did my registration in our country, but basically meaning the election day reach, there is no way for me to go in we all have the right to vote for the president candidate in our country. Maybe the senator in the
Okay, Mr. Flomo will answer whether you will have an opportunity to do that, whether you can, only cast a ballot for the presidency. Hello?
Hello?
It's like that's where your interest is.
Yes, sorry, this is Evangelist Portis. I want to ask this question, even though I got it from the line, because he mentioned about 500 underage people that did register, and even have followed that, especially in the Southeast. And some of the people registered double, even though they were underage. And you said that where they did the first registration, they will have consideration of that. So people who are underage and register, so when you say that who did double registration, will you say that you will consider them in the first place when they did the registration, even though they register underage?
But did he say that, the underage people who registered twice will be considered? And I didn't hear him talk about, considering underage people who registered though. But he will respond to your question
about that. So let's go to the lines and call.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a call there.
That person is off the line. 080-514-096 is the number to call, and you'll be live on Open Conversation, and you can speak to the spokesperson of the National Elections Commission.
Hello?
Let's see whether we can take this one again.
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good.
Go ahead, sir.
I have a question for Mr. Flomo.
Go ahead.
How do they control fight with him with questions about the law, the new election law? I talk about the 30%. You do not really clarify on anything that is enough. That's the second question was the political parties that were doing well in the past time and are still registering for this election, who may below 0.0% and they are still accepting that. Is the law really working, or will it work for us, or where are we? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's leave you at that, and go back to Mr. Flomo to respond to some of your inquiries. Mr. Flomo.
Yeah.
Did you hear them?
You heard them?
Yeah. The summary of all is that you can help me if I don't get it properly. Is on double restriction, of course, underage, the 30%, and then your favorite aspect of those who you think should be delisted. So again, let me go back to the double registration issue. The first thing is you will register where you register, but don't be confused. When you register in between March and May, there was just a room. On 14 days, there could be rooms, so don't be, but there will be queue controllers who will direct you, but it will be the same place, it is the same building. Or if there are changes, of course, we'll make that notation, that announcement will be on radio. And then, but there'll be directions to take you there. But you will register, you vote where you register. Again, I don't care how many million times you register, we've weeded them out and accept you for your first area. Depending on the condition, like I said, you can expect that every condition will be the same. If there are criminality involved, normally we turn you over to the Justice Ministry. On the issue of underage, we detected around 500 somewhere there. But sometimes the machine we suggest to you. That's why we normally say, due to petition and adjudication. So experienced and trained staff, we do their work and then suggest. So what we did during the exhibition time, these people were called to come and prove whether they above the age of 18 as mandated by the Constitution. So some, I don't know the figure now, some were able to justify that they are. Some did not appear, meaning for our indication, guilty. Yeah, but the final numbers will come out. Yeah, so we did not say, because you're underage, so we accept you. No. If you don't prove that you beat the 18 years and above, of course you'll be taken off.
So all those people were consulted and they were asked to come and prove, right? Those who you termed as underage people. Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody was asking whether they could be allowed to vote for the presidency in Montserrado County, even though they registered in Nimba County. What will you say to that?
I just said it is a requirement. It's law. You only vote where you register.
Okay.
You only vote where you register.
Okay, so if you were trucked anywhere, you have to be trucked back there to register to vote, right? Okay.
Where you register is where you vote. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, only 30%, like I said. Next went beyond.
What does that mean?
Took the parties to Pekin and all of that. They committed themselves. Just a week ago, we're at Cape Hotel with sponsorship from a lot of international bodies, including GRZ, to follow up. I was almost in the middle of the nomination to follow up where they were as parties in relation to the 30% quota. But I don't know. I'm saying, because I like to throw the question out to the media, what did you do?
What do you expect the media to do?
I said it in my WhatsApp. What are you doing to make sure that the parties meet these promises they made, these commitments?
How is that supposed to be the media's responsibility to make sure that a party lives up to a commitment that they made?
With the National Elections Commission,
and other than asking the questions, whether you who are the body responsible to take care of elections, rather than asking you whether these people have been able to live up to the agreements they made. What else can we do?
Because it is you that covering all of us, including we make the party. Sometimes, because I encourage you in media, will you call some of the party chairs and secretary general? Where are we? Are you having problems? Why are some of the all them in your studio?
You can rest assured, if we have any of them in our studio, we're going to ask them those hard questions, because they made commitments and they are not living up to those commitments. You can be assured we'll do that.
I don't want to say they are not living up, because
the one that has to do with the 30%, it doesn't seem that they have lived up to that. That's what we're talking about in particular here.
I think the parties, from all fairness, are interested in making sure that women, representation is listed at an appreciable level. But let the media go beyond.
You already finished answering for the parties. You said they're interested in doing that, even though they're just 15%. So what do you want the media to? What do you go beyond? Like how?
Because I'm saying, even in the middle of the nomination, we call them the turnout at the 3 days. We divided them into 3 with the turnout, and they explain some of the conditions and some of the
parties. What did they explain to you? Why they didn't have women there?
A lot of things. For instance, in fact, we had first, second, third. They have more than 10 female parents turning out. and some were bold enough that they are also helping to encourage some of their females colleagues to come.
So why are the women running away?
No, I didn't say running away. I think that there are so many issues. Not one issue. Some could be issue of finance. Some could be issue of.
So only the men got the money to run, right?
No, men got equally problem with money. Some could be issue of sometimes people are bullying. And these are some of the things we're teaching. We're helping to our media people, cyber bullying and all of that. So many problems. But again, you will appreciate some of these problems when you sit with some of these parties, and because we need to know we've done our part. I'm saying,
but you already appreciate, the problems, and you think that women believe that they're being bullied. That's why they're not coming up. Women believe that they don't have money. We got the money. The women got the money more than the men. So they need to stop saying that the women, women are bullied everywhere, every day, and they still, have the courage to stand up, for what they believe in. The parties need to, encourage those women and, put their hands around them and say, yes, you can make it. If the party does that, that woman will be, strong enough. She needs the support of the party. But just wrap up so we can go.
We're pressed against time, so you can wrap up.
Okay. So, again, we all did ask hard questions. We did our part. We brought them on board, committed themselves in from both local and international partners, and a lot of embassies around near Monrovia. That was on May 11th. We called them again just 2 weeks into the nomination, and they came and they made commitments that they are striving. They will try their best to do it. So I don't want to sit there and just say, hey, the parties are not interested. So we all have to engage them one way or the other, for them to know their problems. Sometimes it could be intentional, sometimes not intentional. So
how important is that anymore when you finish with your process or you're almost, ending that? Mr. Flomo, thank you so much. We highly appreciate that you were able to join us this evening and give us some information concerning the National Elections Commission, how far you are, and let's hope that you can get the money you need to continue your work. We wish you all the best. So far, so good. We think you're doing great. And please continue to update us because we will continue to bug you and ask you all of those questions. I hope we can have you another time and to talk about, those parties participating in the 2017 elections that didn't reach the minimum threshold and have registered to participate again. Thank you so much. We highly appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, Titi. And I want to say thank you to everybody. Elections, everybody's business. Let's trust the process. Let's make sure that we keep the peace. Let's make sure the parties and media people will make a lot of commitment to non-violent elections. And we thank the parents who also came out to voice for their children who we thought, in some cases, were underage. Some came out. Of course, those who didn't trust themselves will not turn out. And again, the main found out is that where you register is where you will vote. And of course, the process will be the same normal way. Of course, the voter registration was biometric, but the voting would be the same normal voting of 2017 and doing the by elections. We'll make sure that the media is accredited. Send their listing. We'll be doing it online. Practice. Once you are part of it, you will appreciate it. So let's trust the process, and of course, let's make sure we cross-check our fight, and let's avoid disinformation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that's it. He is the spokesperson of the National Elections Commission. I think he gave us some information tonight that, we can go with as citizens, time in between time. We will continue to, have Mr. Flomo inform us every step of the way, what's going on with the National Elections Commission and how we move towards October 10th, the big day.
Exactly. I think these informations are very important to the Liberian people, and I think these are the times that we take on them to be able to inform the people about how we're moving about these in these elections, because they are very important. The Liberian people need to know the day-to-day step that lead to the most talked about October 10th. And we want to appreciate you, Mr. Flomo, for taking up your time to talk to the Liberian people about, the progress of the National Elections Commission. On this note, Titi, it's goodbye time.
Yeah.
From the east to the west, north to the south, yeah, let's come together. I go. They say you're not there, we stand, the battle we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget that. You from Lova Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sessi. I'm a bad way on your river, I walk on the fine way. La Villa, Kriwako. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I was raised in the slum, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the soil, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love LIB. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I holding your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. So that's what they say when I come with ball. When I tell you on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this team. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, that's joining the team. You go where you pella, you love my crowd.